Film Club.
Good. Got a shower pockets. Oh. No, I haven't. That's for you. Thank you very much for joining us on an episode of Film Club. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Harrison, and to my right, as always, it's Andy Dalton. I bought that just for you.
No, you didn't.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best before bringing back here to talk it out.
Do we talk it out?
We don't talk it out.
You just rant.
Go on. What have we been watching this week?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. So, Andy, what's Goodfellas about?
Wise guys.
It's about some wise guys. Oh, it's about some good fellas.
He's a good fella. It's actually based off a book called Wise Guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Ray Liotta's character. How do I not know his name?
Oh, called Henry. Straight out the gate.
Henry.
Totally wrong.
Yeah. Henry, it starts off, it's just about him joining the local gang. It's about the Lucchese gang. I think it was, yeah. And it's about him joining that, the people he meets, the crew he kind of goes around with, and all the respect that comes from being in the gang. How his family reacts to it, the people he meets, he eventually meets his wife, and it's about the ups and the downs of being in crime, being in mafia, being in gang.
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill.
Who? Real guy.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
We'll address that straight out the gate this week. Kind of based on a true story.
Yeah.
This guy was actually like a gangster.
Paulie and the gent, De Niro's character.
Oh, Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah. So Jimmy the gent. Based off true characters.
Yep.
The surname's been changed. And Henry Hill actually was a FBI informant at the end.
I believe this actually does what cinema doesn't do a lot, Hollywood doesn't do a lot of anymore, which is right up front, it's like, this is based on a true story. You know, nowadays, like, do that thing where,
but this doesn't.
No, it does, isn't it?
No?
I thought it does. I'm sure at the beginning it comes up saying,
maybe I missed it.
Based on true events. Well, if it is, you'll see it down here. If not, I'll leave it blank. I'll put a picture of a sad penguin if it's not. So yeah.
Do the one the penguin falling over, the other trips him up.
So, whereas now Hollywood likes to do that thing where let the whole film play out and then they go,
"This was
based on a true story,"
Like
and you go,
nowadays doing this.
"Oh my god!"
Yeah. So you haven't seen this before.
I hadn't seen this before.
Scorsese, by the way, it's like one of his best. This or Raging Bull, Taxi Driver. You got all these films.
Yeah, often considered to be one of the defining like crime, mafia, gangster films.
So what do you think?
And it is. Absolutely is.
We briefly mentioned this yesterday. I was just like, we could do this yesterday, so we did it today, and it was just like, can we at least talk a little bit about Goodfellas? Because
you were itching. It was like, please, Goodfellas, please.
Yeah, it's because I haven't seen it in a while, and I watched it, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
It's really good, and like it's really good. I know again we mentioned this briefly yesterday, but
did we?
Probably its strongest element, I would say, is its pacing. It just has this exquisite pacing.
One scene goes into another. No scenes left unused.
Exactly. It's constantly pushing.
Scenes irrelevant.
It just pushes the plot forward, pushes the characters forward, and it's not that long of a film. 2.5 hours.
I think it's a decent amount of time.
Decent length, but not like crazy long. I'm thinking like one of my other favorite gangster films is Once Upon a Time in America. And that's like 4+ hours.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So like, this feels like a good length of a film. It never slows down. But within that, he has this amazing way of just, the story isn't necessarily A to B to C. It's not exactly linear in that the things that are happening at the beginning are directly impacting the plot at the end.
For example, at the start, have the guy in the back of the taxi, Joe Pesci's character stabs him, De Niro's character shoots him, and then it goes back to Ray Liotta's character's Henry as a kid, then later on as normal.
In a lesser film, that opening would be the end of the film.
Yeah.
Like that's what they'd be building the whole film towards. He blows that halfway through.
But I like that because what
awesome.
that shows, this is like, this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you've got Liotta narrating.
It becomes about bigger themes and bigger ideals. So instead you get this like vignette storytelling where like there's this little moment in his life happens, and then like months pass, and then this other little moment in his life happens, and then months pass, and then this other little moment in his life happens. It's great. And the one we really have to talk about, the characters, the cast. Ray Liotta. How does Ray Liotta do in this film?
It blows me away. It really does. He's absolutely fantastic. I think that in itself, the narration at the start, just like there's so much passion behind it if you listen to it. And
Classic Scorsese narration.
Yeah,
Great to see.
Yeah, really well done. But throughout the whole film, he kind of like morphs and the characters, but you can always see that he's got the character Henry's always got a side of like he cares a bit more than others. Great scene throughout the film. It's actually halfway through the film. It's just before it's at the end of the rise of being a gangster, being a gang, and the start of the fall of being a gang. It's where Pesky shoots that guy in the foot.
Yeah.
Then his wife's got the gun to his face. That signifies the middle of the film. And then you got just after Pesky gets pissed off and absolutely rifles the fuck out of that guy and kills him. And you see Henry go straight over and look after the guy. He's like, you know what you're doing. He's always got a sign of what's the word?
Compassion?
Compassion. He's got a sign of almost morality about him.
He does.
A little bit of morality about him.
But I love how that slowly erodes.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look at like the way he treats his wife, stuff like that. The way he like treats.
And particularly towards the end, it just kind of becomes him looking out for number one.
Yeah, well, that's how it is in the end. I mean, look at what Jimmy the Gent, De Niro's character, he does. He's going to get them there. He's going to kill his fucking wife.
Yep.
You know, and she's smart. She has the thing. No, I'm not going in there. Fuck you. I'm going to drive off and storm off. You know.
Yep.
And
so I mean, Ray Liotta, as a performance, holds this entire film together. Absolutely. Even when like you've got more seasoned actors who are in the like some like Scorsese had already proven De Niro could hold a film, but instead you trusted in Liotta.
Yeah.
And let De Niro play this like supporting character.
Yeah.
It's great. Like he totally shines in the film. This, and I have to mention it, other defining role for Ray Liotta, GTA Vice City.
Yeah, Tommy Vercetti.
Tommy Vercetti.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking, what's he done? Reminding myself. And I was like, yeah, of course, it was Tommy Vercetti. And I was just like, get in, son, get in. Yep. Amount of time we spent playing that game.
I know, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, De Niro.
De Niro, true De Niro, but I think he is better than De Niro, a standard De Niro performance. De Niro's come to the point where it's just like, he could just, like you said, hold his own, but he's amazing. But this film, I think he goes a bit beyond that. I really think he does. I think how he goes about it, and again, at the start he seems welcoming. He's like, oh, he's the guy who always puts 100 bucks in your pocket and all this, and he's like, oh yeah, like that. And he's, true, like with his eyes, like squinting.
For a lot of the film, you feel like he's the gangster that has it all together.
And then look at the end, he's so paranoid. He's going to kill fucking Liotta's wife, Henry's wife. And it's just like, holy shit, that character turn. And he plays it so well. He does so well.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just that scene where he comes in, it's just like, you bought a new car? Go on, sell it. You bought a new car? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, it's like so well done. Absolutely sensational. And then, of course, you've got the third one, Joe Pesci.
Yep.
Who,
days
has one of the most famous scenes in history of film.
He somehow manages to almost steal every scene that he's in.
He really does. He really
kind
does.
Of the scene.
As I mentioned it last week, and he goes, what? Like this. To me, it's funny. Do you think I'm a clown? I'm here to amuse you? What do you mean funny?
I don't know. You're just a funny guy.
And I love Ray Liotta in that scene as well.
Yeah.
His laugh, he's like proper going for a laugh.
Yeah.
I think that might have been like, if I recall correctly, there was something about that scene. I could be wrong. There's something about that scene, and like a lot of it was just them sitting at the table, just talking loads. And I think there was a little bit of improvisation in there. I'm pretty sure there might have been. So
there's an interesting way they improv some of this script. They didn't exactly improv a lot of it. What they did was during rehearsals, they would sit and kind of just talk and do some improv during rehearsals. Then Scorsese would take that material and write it into the script.
Yeah,
He'd take the best lines.
That might be what I've read. Yeah. And this scene, this scene's perfect. It's just, and you got like Pesky. He goes from one side where he's having a laugh. He's like everyone's loving his stories, and then suddenly he turns on Henry, and then everyone the sound, how it just goes quiet. Like fuck me, everyone's quiet, and Leo's going, no, you're just funny. Like the way you say stuff is funny. He goes, no, what do you mean? Like this. Guy comes over the check, fucking bats a guy with a bottle, starts laughing, and then Henry goes, you're a funny man. He goes, yeah, we're like that. Sits down, ha ha ha, like, again, Liotta spurs him on and goes, yeah, you're funny, man. And he just, the end of the scene, he goes, like that.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
It's awesome because over the course of that scene, you start in this place of like casual friendship, and then you establish this like awkward tension before
You know that they know
with
each
this
other.
real bond of friendship.
But that's what it is. We go back to those three characters, those actors. The chemistry in this film it's some of the best I've seen in any film.
Yeah.
Really is some of the best I've seen.
It absolutely is. A lot of the dialogue in this feels in that scene.
Authentic.
It feels authentic. It does. And in other scenes, you start to see the way they overlap. Lines will talk over each other,
Which you don't see that often.
It's got that kind of like, it's almost stereotypical American-Italian sort of way of like, they're listening to each other, but everyone's talking at the same time.
Yeah.
And the conversation sometimes goes in different directions.
What better scene is when they sat down at Joe Pesci's mother's table.
Yes, exactly what I was about to say.
Who, by the way, Joe Pesci's mother is Scorsese's mother.
Was it really?
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
That picture is something to do with the scene. I think it's improvised. Something to do with the picture someone sent in, so they actually include that in the scene. I think, again, that was part of the improvisation thing.
His mother is awesome.
His mother, and she's been in a few of Scorsese's films. And by the way, Scorsese's father's actually the chef in the prison as well, cooking the tomato.
All right.
Yeah, so they both make an appearance in the film. It's one of the famous ones. I actually posted on the Film Club Twitter the recipe to Scorsese's mother's meatballs, which I believe is used in that scene. So, and she was actually, I think she was cooking on set or something. Or she said the recipe on set that they actually had, or something like that. But
they just use her to build out their characters in even more three-dimensional ways.
Yeah.
They're not out-and-out bad guys who are from horrible people. She's this loving mother who he tries to keep in the dark, but like doesn't quite, like he's mysteriously borrowing the knife because he hit a deer.
Which I think's hilarious.
And
I
she
love
just
how they do
kind
that.
of goes along with it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah.
But you also get this understanding that maybe she doesn't believe him. It's like, it's so good. The characterizations across the board are just wonderful. So one of my favorite things about this film, from a technical point of view, is the long takes.
There's a lot of them. There is really a lot of long takes.
Loads and loads.
What's the big one? Because I remember watching it and I forgot. I was so into the film by the end of it, I was just completely away from the analytical aspect of watching it. But it was towards the start. There's a big long take.
There's the big one where Henry takes.
There's one which is amazing, but go on.
Henry takes. I can't remember her name. The girl.
The wife. Is that when he introduced everyone?
When he takes her on a date for the first time, they go to the Copacabana.
Yeah. Is that when he goes through the chefs and all that?
He goes through the back.
It's amazing.
They go downstairs through the kitchen. They go into the Copacabana performance area, and it still doesn't even end there. It actually, they have a little bit of like a meet and greet with everybody. They sit down at the table. They start having a conversation. Then the performer on stage. It turns out the performer on stage,
and he's really good. He's so funny. Like honestly, he's one-liners.
Like that is an awesome take, and all the way through, he's got people crisscrossing the screen.
Do you remind me of Raging Bull when he comes out on the stage?
Yeah, absolutely.
When he goes to the corridors in Raging Bull and just this, and then it comes up and sees on the stage.
But like it's a more evolved version of that. It's great.
There's another scene which I absolutely love, and I wish I could get the quote on there. And it's when he's going into the bar, and it's like, all the wise guys here, all the Goodfellas were here, sort of thing. And
that's a good one.
He goes to them all. It's so and so, and he goes, all right. He goes, and there's so and so, and he goes, how are you doing? And he goes along, and he's always my favourite character, and he goes, Johnny Two-Time or something like that, because he always says everything twice. I just think it's such a minor, kind of small, unnecessary, but so memorable line. And he goes, I'm going to do that thing. And I was just like, like this, like, it works. It's stuff like that. And again, it comes to the end, and it's fantastic. It really is fantastic. He's done so well.
It absolutely does. And it's the fact that he's not just relying on those long takes as well. He's using like various elements of filmmaking technique to get things across. Like the fact that he'll use voiceovers, like we said. He'll use the long takes. Sometimes he uses like basic shot, reverse shot. Sometimes he's holding shots for a long time. Sometimes one of my favorite ones comes towards the end when actually they're talking to the agent who's the witness protection police officer or whatever it is, and he cuts the guy off mid-sentence to cut back to something that's happening. I think it's the arrests they cut back to, because it's useless information at that point. Yeah, it's important they're having that conversation, but like he cuts away to something else and then cuts back to the conversation later on. It's like, it's just, again, he's constantly keeping that film moving. It's great.
And that's what, that is really great. I can't remember that scene, so I will come back and probably watch it again. Yeah,
you guys will see it down there.
I'll watch it again when I watch this, just to make sure everything's cool. Just making sure we're all right. But the film, I think that is probably its greatest. That of the characters is the greatest thing about the film. Just the fluidity of it.
Yep. And this film would go on to influence countless films afterwards. You
is
can
this
see
before
its
Goodfather?
DNA. No, this is after Godfather, right?
What's the? I've got Smartly. I've got the IMDb page up on here.
Smartly.
1990.
Smartphone for
Shit, 1990.
1990.
So it's like around the same time, is it not? You do the thing.
I'll do the thing.
And it's so many ways, and Goodfellas is absolutely, it's superb. And what's interesting, you look at Scorsese's later work, like The Departed, which is another gangster film. Yes, it's less like loads of people and stuff like that. It's more of a on each other's side sort of thing. But you look at how he's developed his gangster, especially like that with the modern stuff.
He defined the gangster film for a lot of people. Like in terms of people coming out of the Hollywood New Wave as a film artistic movement. He's totally up there. He's one of the guys that came out and went, this is the type of film which people want to make and people want to see. And everyone was like, well, I want to see that. And people were like, I want to make that. So The Godfather was 1972. So like, way off.
How the fuck was I let off? Why am I thinking 90s? Unless that was Godfather Part 3.
We need to do The Godfather at some point because, again, The Godfather is one that I haven't seen.
See, there's a long thing. Honestly, you need to see that. I need to, because he's trying to get him into the Western stuff and I'm trying to get him to the gang stuff.
To be fair, I would assume, having not seen it, Godfather was a big influence on this.
Oh, the fuck was I that far?
But this, you start to see the way it characterized gangsters and start to make them three-dimensional and starts to show the interplay in their lives and show their kind of more realistic lives they have. You know, where he has like a wife that he goes home to and he has kids and he hates it. And they're not realistic, but it's starting to show you behind the curtain.
I can't wait for you to watch Godfather.
Okay, I'm looking forward to Godfather.
Yeah, it's good. Do you reckon this is Scorsese's best?
No, it's great. Okay, maybe for some people this is Scorsese's best. I think Scorsese as a director, he's really interesting that I wouldn't begrudge anybody for having different favourites. I really wouldn't. For me, no, I actually prefer probably Taxi Driver and Raging Bull.
Yeah. I like this too much. I do like this too much. Personally, again, personal taste, I like the character focus of Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. I like that it's about like one person, rather than this is a bit more broad. I know it's about Ray Liotta, but you get a lot of the other guys in this. You do get a shit load of the other guys. I was going to say about Paulie. I was going to say something interesting about Paulie. I can't remember. You know what Paulie is?
Yeah.
He's a Caprio Gemi, if I pronounce that properly.
Yeah.
Probably not. Do you know what that is?
It's basically a Capri Sun, but unfrozen.
Capri Sun unfrozen. Lieutenant of a mob. So it's like the boss, underboss, them. It's a lot more understandable in something like Godfather, where you actually see like these guys and have soldiers beneath them. Liotta, De Niro, and Pesci, the kind of soldiers of Paulie. That's how like the kind of political thing of a family works. So yeah, it's but it's nice to see that from that level. We need to basically when we watch Godfather, we need to compare them in terms of like gangster stuff because there's so much I want to say and I can't.
We should have done Godfather next, but we haven't chosen Godfather next. That is Goodfellas. You can let us know in the comments what you thought of Goodfellas. Next week, though,
complete shift.
We are changing things up. We'd been doing like film to film to film for a couple of reasons. Next week, we're actually going to go ahead and change this up across continents. We're going to French. We're actually going to have a look at blue is the warmest colour. Because
it's not the warmest colour, actually. I'd say oranges.
So if you want to be part of the club, get watching. We'll see you back here next week for an episode of Film Club.
Part of the club.
See you then.
Part of the club.
Film friends.
You're not my friend.
Oh.